Ralphie, how's the wind today? Not too bad. Alright, so today is a double feature, flying wing and a Iranian trainer jet stealth plane. I found a couple pictures online. It starts with an S, has a Q, ends with a Q, has a F in it. I can't pronounce it, but it just looked different. It's got a circle. You can see the circle in the wing. So it's not completely scaled, doesn't even look close to it. The front end I changed because I didn't like the front end. Just a simple foam board plane I threw together. Running on this little itty bitty 2-cell. It's still greater than 1-to-1 power to weight ratio. It'll still get vertical on that little battery. Simple 2-servo setup for Elevon mixing. I'm running my 2200 kV motor with the 6x4 on my slow flyer setup, 18 amp speed control. So I've got the JST connection, and I'm hoping not to burn up my ESC. When I pop in this little 1000 milliamp 3-cell, then you're talking serious amount of power for something that's very, very light and very small. So we'll check that out. Hopefully the wind won't toss that around too much. If you guys are interested in looking at pics, just go on Google Images and type in Iran Jet Trainer, and you should see pictures of it. I believe the ones that popped up, the plane was blue in color. It'll say that MATF and 2010 on it. So check that out. Alright, to the ugly wing, here we go. Blue foam, I believe 4 layers if you add the KFM2 airfoil, which got I've flown it before and it's seriously locked in. In the middle, sandwiched in there, is a blue layer with Henry's fiber weave, but I actually cross-wove all that together and used the adhesive to get that all down, sandwiched it all together. This thing survived so many crashes. This is actually changed, modified wing design. Originally it didn't look like this. Obviously I just slapped this together real quick, running a 2700 kV motor with a 7x5 prop, which is not recommended for this motor, but it turns it and it heats up really, really fast, so I'll have to be careful with that. Running Metal Gear servos on the Elevon mix, 50 amp speed control, 2100 milliamp with only a 20C discharge, but it still gets up and moves. This thing amazes me with slow flight. It's really good with slow flight. Here, my verticals, you can see how short they are, but I put them all the way at the ends of the wings because that's the furthest back point. The further back you put your verticals, the more effective they're going to be in keeping your plane straight. This thing I think is ugly. It's in the middle, but I'm thinking I don't need it, so maybe I'll rip it off later on. We'll see. I got diffusers because Frank and Paul use them, and I don't know if they're doing anything or not, but since I slapped them on, the thing's locked in. I really don't want to change anything except for that. Here's something really cool with the Elevons. Alright, you see it's hinged all the way across here? Well, then you see this angle. Let me put this where you can see. You see this area under here? Now whenever it moves, I wanted thrust vectoring. You can see where the motor, the air pushes over. So I've got thrust vectoring here, but I also have, where it's open, the more extreme it gets, there's an airway passageway that opens up for air to pass through. So I get the best of both worlds. I get thrust vectoring maneuvering with this breakage in here to keep the airspeed up. So instead of the plane just flipping and then stalling, I'm still getting air to go through, so I get speed and I get maneuverability, and I think this is a really, really cool idea. And not only that, because of this angle here, I'm able to run carbon fiber further back into the plane to reinforce it. So if any of you guys are interested, definitely take a look into that and try that out because it's very, very effective. And then I'm going to show you something real quick with the Elevon mixing, going on to a previous video that I've done before. Alright, so if you're running a Spektrum radio, I don't know if it's all Spektrum radios, and I don't know why most people don't already know this already, but with your Spektrum radio, when you do Elevon mixing, you get very small amount of throws. I did a video. If you look under my videos, you'll see one that says Elevon mixing on DX6i, get full throws. So anybody who's not aware of how to fix that, go look at that video and you'll see where normally you get this kind of throw, and then with the mixing that I show in that video, you go from that to this. Much more intense throws. So please check that out. I've come across a lot of guys that are on the internet that still don't know how to fix that problem, and they're buying V-tail mixers and stuff when it's not needed. So go ahead and check that video out on how to go from this to that. Alright? So let's go ahead and get these things up in the air. It's hard to see. Fuck's with that. Looks like a UFO on this thing. Like, we're flat. I lost it. Oh!